Yo, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Ultimatum League 3.14. In this episode, we're going to be going over my 3.14 League Starter. So everyone wants to know what the 3.14 League Starter is. We just got the new POB update 2.1. So they updated, so it's the new 3.14 tree. And so I already have the updated League Starter, and I have all the skills and all the leveling of where you find everything up to level 38, and then appropriate links, and then how we actually do our endgame links. And here's the DPS, and like 1 million DPS with nothing. It's 5500 HP. It's so silly. Softcore OP. And so this is I ended up going for the Valsam Skeleton League Starter. Decided on the Valsam and Skellies. They're still pretty good. The only downside is still they're kind of squishy, but with what I do with the Indom army and the Grave Intentions and the Sacrifice, they're tanky enough, honestly. It's good. I like this. And I actually decided now to start with Ethereal Knives into Animate Weapon level 4, Animate Weapon level 8. But we switch out Animate Weapon for Valsam and Skeletons at level 10. So we can experiment with the Animate Weapon in the beginning, because Animate Weapon's early game League start, like level 4, is actually really powerful. It's really strong at level 4. It has a lot of HP. They can survive. It's really crazy how good they are. And they kind of fall off. They don't have very good scaling. And you would actually have to invest in them, which is where I pointed out the physical tag and all these extra things. Oh, yeah, guys. This... Oh, I'm so glad I remembered it very early. Okay. This is a big thing of why I switched back. I found out Val Skellies, well, actually just regular Skellies, says minions gain 50% more added damage. Wait, what? And then I was like, oh, so wait, if you use carrion golem with skellies, you add the physical, and then the physical is 50% more because it's a skeleton and because it has this tag of more, so it's a good combination to do with carrion golem. So this is actually an OP League Starter. And then additional physical damage on your phantasms, additional physical damage on the zombies, carrion golem getting value like crazy because it's everywhere. Yeah, powerful, actually really powerful. So then this is instead of the Animate Weapon, so that you don't have to deal with the constant respawning. And I noticed that later we get up to like 16, 18 Animate Weapons, and to be honest, it's really annoying to respawn that many in a boss fight. I've played it myself. I have tested it, and I won't do it. I won't do it to people. But Val Skelly is fucking sick, and obviously anyone highly recommend 1 button 40 like what the fuck. And then the other one, 2 buttons fucking summoning 16, and that's just for 1 fight, and then it's not even better. Fuck this shit. It actually, I think the Animate Weapon might be worse. It's mind-blowing, dude. And then there's a side thing that we can go zombies still after. We can swap to zombies. And then we can keep the frenzies and power charges up from our spectres more easily than the skeletons. But either way, now that I've explained the whole thing and why I ended up doing skeletons and why the buff from the carrion golems and the 50% more added damage and the big damage we're getting and why this is so much cooler and why we did carrion golems instead as our League Starter. And this is with vitality though, so vitality gets nerfed. We also got... Right, this was vitality? Oh no, this is no vitality even, actually. This starts with vitality, I think. I League start level 10 vitality, but we remove it in the end. And it has 400 regen still, which is actually pretty cool. And you could build more, but yeah. This is just base. So normal skill tree, 12-point start. The reason I do this is because in these first few points, instead of getting no stats, like you just get intelligence. It's kind of stupid to me. It's really weird. In here, I get minion life, minion damage, minion attack speed, minion damage, So just coming through the first few points, I'm like, yo, we're strong as fuck. 20 damage, 10 life, some attack speed. This is crazy. And then we come get 10 more damage and 15 more damage and 15 more life in zombie and skelly, which is perfect for our start. And then we get all the life and we get these attributes. So it's 12 points. And sure, you could get out in 4, but then you don't have any of the stats. In 4 points, I'm getting 10 damage, 10 life, 4 attack speed. In 5 points, I have so much minion stats that you can't even reach anywhere else. This is what I came up with before. It's really cool. It's unbeatable, basically, unless they nerf this shit and make it less appealing, which would really suck, because it's only good in the beginning for what I've done here. 25 points, then we get to expand, more life, minion damage, and we get towards sacrifice. At 43, we get Death Attunement, we get Sacrifice, and this time I took Discipline and Training instead of the Fearsome Force, because we're still mostly relying on the skeletons. And then 58, you can add in the Fearsome Force, the Grave Pact, and the Chaos. At 43, you got Normal Lab, and then at 70, you get the Unnatural Strength. It's Cruel Lab, and then we're going towards Ravenous Horde up there, but we also get Redemption, Righteous Army. And we continue. 87, we go get Indomitable Army for now. Finally, Ravenous Horde. We go all the way to Constitution, and we're starting to get combat stamina. Constitution is crazy, dude. We come down for Heart of the Warrior and Warrior's Blood, and we got the combat stamina. Just tons of life. Just filling out the life. Get more life armor. And then you can fill out the jewel sockets, but you would probably adjust this, because you'd be able to like anoint and stuff by the time you're level 100. I'm sure you're gonna have anointments and stuff, and then your skill tree is gonna change and your priorities are gonna change. But this is just the league starter. Like after you got all the minion damage that you wanted, then it's just basically getting the most effective stat, which is then stacking life and armor, because it's your weakest stuff, and you want to stack armor on the early gear that you're getting, and you're trying to square up your weaknesses, because it's pretty easy to res cap. And yeah, that's my skill tree. It's the same skill tree we always use for people who come here and have been doing my builds, so that's nice. They don't have anything much different than the stuff we have here. Is level 1, we go Raise Zombie, Ethereal Knives. Before I used to use Freezing Pulse, but we're doing Ethereal Knives so that you can leave lingering blades on the ground, and then we can raise the lingering blades with Animate Weapon, and then we can have Animate Weapons that follow us around that are better than Summon Raging Spirits, and we can try that. We get Frostblink level 4, Raise Zombie. Then level 8, Animate Weapon, Minion Damage, Melee Splash. Raise Zombie, Summon Phantasm, Minion Damage. Level 10, we're getting our Flame Dash, which we replaced Frostblink. We get Valsam and Skelly, Minion Damage, Melee Splash. We replace the Animate Weapon. Vitality, I think I'll still use it, because I think a lot of builds aren't going to use Vitality, but I think we're one of the builds that would still use it, because it helps the minion survivability in the early game, and that's really valuable on top of our own. So it's just double dip, where some people only get the survivability for themselves, where they could have just gotten some regen and it would have been the exact same, or leech or whatever. This is actually global, like AoE fucking healing, which is actually OP for us, and that's probably why they're tuning it down, is because of minions. Spirit Offering level 12, 16 Skitterbots, Desecrate 16. It's I think Vitality was just good in general also, yeah. And it's still going to be pretty strong, which is the 50%. It was like a 30% nerf. And then 20%, 30 and then 20. Valsam and Skelly at 18 you get Melee Fizz added to your links. You get a 4 link. We might get 4 links really easily in this next expansion, next season, because we have Orbs of Binding dropping early. So 4 links. PogChamp. Actually fucking insane. 24 you can get Convocation, Pride, Vulnerability. At 31 you can get Dread Banner, Generosity, Raise Spectre, blood magic minion life. At 31 you get blood magic, so we add in the spectre finally. There's no point in using the spectre before blood magic. It's really weird. It doesn't use its fucking spell very much. At 31, feeding frenzy instead of minion damage if you want for the dash. It's really nice to be lazy with the minions. If you want to be really active, you don't have to use feeding frenzy. At 34 you get carrion golem, and you make this 4-link, so the feeding frenzy buffs up all of these. It's crazy how many minions that is. What the fuck is this? I'm just gonna delete it. Okay, so Immortal Call, constant damage taken, vitality. Oh shit, I need that. So this has to be right. What happened, dude? What happened, man? Let me just fix this. There we go. The multi-strike is extra. It's a bonus if the phantasms can't live, but I'm like certain they can, so this shouldn't come up. But if you don't want to run phantasms, you can run multi-strike for the carrion golem and zombies because it's actually sick. Immortal Call, custom damage taken, and then a vitality. These are at level 38, getting all your gems. And then we have Valsam and Skelly, melee splash, feeding frenzy, melee fizz, minion damage, impale. Yeah, you don't have to run Feeding Frenzy, but I like it because it gives them the dash and it makes them like Carrion Golem, especially if you use these in Heist. You're going to find that the doorways is really annoying, and these Feeding Frenzy makes them go whoop into the door, and it fucks up body blocking, and it's amazing when you have a million minions. Yep, so that's what I recommend there. And then it's like also AoE Impale. It's really funny. Melee Splash Impale. It's so sick. I found it funny with Mim too. Like any debuffs, you add it with a melee splash, and then it's AoE. Dread Banner, Generosity, and Pride. Raise Spectre. Got the Blood Magic, Minion Life, Meat Shield set up, so these can't die. Convocation, Flame Dash, Spirit Offering, and then Vulnerability. Have a Curse. And then in our actual final link setups, we end up swapping shit around. So I ended up doing in the helmet, Spectre, Blood Magic, Minion Life, Zombie. So I moved the Zombie into the helmet. I did Carrion Golem in a 4-link with Mim. So I added Mim to the build. Phantasms don't Mim, but the Carrion Golem should Mim. And then it has Feeding Frenzy. So the Zombies don't have Feeding Frenzy. But then they have the extra minion life, so they have the extra survivability because they're squishier than the Carrion Golem. And the Phantasms, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll die. Who knows? Maybe yeah. Dread Banner, Generosity, Desecrate, Pride. So you have to manually cast Desecrate still, because you don't have trigger or anything yet. Immortal Call, custom damage taken, Skitterbots in the weapon, other weapon. So it's in the beginning 2 wands. Which, yeah. Convocation, Flame Dash, Spirit Offering. I recommended Spirit Offering for our league start instead of using, because up to, we don't use Brutality. So then you get to have the extra damage from the Spirit Offering. And we don't really use the, bone block stuff until we have, the shield recovery. And we don't use a shield and all the block nodes till later, until we want to go tankier. But for League Start, we just want as much of the free damage as possible because it's expensive to get damage. And then Valskelly, and then Vulnerability. And then you can potentially run Phase Run setup, but obviously it's not viable with the skeletons because if you use a skill when you're in Phase Run, you lose Phase Run, it breaks it. So you have to not cast anything. You can do it through triggering. You could trigger a spell with the trigger wand, but you can't yeah, so then casting your offering and shit will break it too. It's really awkward. So you could also cyclone for phasing and automatic offering, and this is with the trigger nerf, it's actually pretty good. This gets better with the trigger nerf. They changed it to 8 seconds for the cooldown, and then it's well, you could just go back to my old school stuff. Yep. I noticed one more thing. I had +1 wands enabled because I originally planned to show animate weapons, and even with the +1s, the animate weapons were not doing it for me. Yep. So I guess I would go back to just regular wands and oh god, dude. I'll just put it with nothing for now. They don't even need stats. You can add minion damage essence of fear though. Can I copy this? Let's make another one. Let's show what it would look like. So if you added a modifier and you did essence fear, this is what I would recommend to start. It's one of the first things to look at probably, and then you could see what 66 minion damage looks like. That's a deafening essence of fear. These were like 1C on day 1 or something. So a couple of those, 40,000. That was 30% more damage. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, that's everything we need for the League starter. I'll go through one more final thing. The items, I just went across the board and gave decent life and reses to cap off the reses. Stygian Vice because Abyssal buffs, but they didn't buff any of the stuff that I use, so unlucky, dude. We got minions taunt and minions blind though, is what I would recommend to actually look for, because these are very powerful mods that make a huge difference in damage mitigation. And then bleed immune instant life flask, divine. Curse immune enduring eternal mana flask. This is never ending, like it goes for the full duration even if you have full mana, and gives you curse immune. That's why I use it. And it also can be really nice because we're casting skeletons and casting offering and desecrate and all this shit, and mana can be annoying, so having infinite mana, infinite curse immune is OP. Basalt with freeze immune because we're not an elementalist, and so we're not immune to freeze. Granite with increased armor and gaining 1 charge when you're hit by an enemy. And then Quicksilver, reduced charge and move speed. Pog. That's my League starter for this season. It's very similar to my last season. It's funny. What note did I put here? First 2 specters, I recommend Carnage Chieftains from Old Fields Act 2 or Ashen Fields Act 7. Third specter is a Host Chieftain found in Ashen Fields Act 7. If 4th specter you get from level 25 Spectre Gem, then go for a second Host Chieftain. Because you can get 4 specters, but you have to get a level 25 Spectre Gem, which is pretty hard. Yeah, so that was just a bonus thing there. And there's one more. Yeah, either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys are excited for this 3.14 Ultimatum League start. I think I have a couple more things to put up before. We have to also figure out the filter situation, my plans for the actual League start, like besides just the build and the build stuff. There's the actual game and the gameplay and the path and the what we're gonna be targeting and the order, and maybe like actually discussing some of the plans and maybe some of the cool shit that we noticed that has piqued our interest in the end. But I think there's still some stuff that we haven't seen also. I think they're holding back, and we're not going to know until we actually get in there, and people are going to be like, oh, did you know about this? We'll be like, no, I didn't know about it. They didn't show that. What? That's crazy. Holy shit, you know? But either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all the support, and thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon or YouTube members today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!